Hey everybody, ChristopherOdd here. Today we're taking a look at a game called Circus Electrique. If you've seen any previews for this, you may be familiar with the combat style. It's very much in line with Darkest Dungeon, where you've got up to 4 party members on the left against up to 4 enemies on the right. Your positioning really matters. The different skills that you can cast depending on what positions you're in really matters. So if you like that style of combat, you're going to be right at home here, albeit with a bunch of different mechanics and twists that really fit into the kind of setting of Circus Electrique, which I will say, if you like a game similar to We Happy Few in the way that it tells the story and the art style, you're going to be right at home here as well. It's a really cool mix, I think, and I hope that I can demonstrate that to you over the course of this video. This is developed by Zen Studios and published by Saber Interactive, who's also sponsoring the video, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's just get into it here, and I'll show you guys what you can expect from Circus Electrique. 3 different difficulties to start. On easy, you get more rewards, enemies are easier to kill. You have to run these circus shows, and the chances of them being more successful are a lot easier. Whereas if you play on Ringmaster, all that stuff's a lot more challenging. Let's go on normal here. And we'll start with our little opening cutscene to kind of explain why we're doing all these things that we're doing.
I promised myself I would never see him again. 10 years is far too soon, after what he did. Yet here I am, reporting on the least important story for tomorrow's paper. The grand reopening of his Circus Electrique. He hasn't lost his charisma, I'll give him that. Always giving them something new, something bigger. Something more dangerous. I've seen these two before. That's their happy face. Maybe they'll arrest Uncle. That'd be a story I could get behind. What are they doing?
Die!
What?
Die! Die!
Then I hear him.
Grok! Balthy! Save my niece! One, please!
So it seems like the story's being told from the perspective of this reporter, and her uncle happens to run this circus, and he did something really sketchy in the past. There was like some fire there, so maybe there's, you know, with circuses, there's always a weird fire that goes down, okay? You know how that is. We'll see what happens. Overcoming your opponents in battles with skills. We get to use 1 skill every turn. So if you're unfamiliar with Darkest Dungeon style of combat, these are the guys that kind of created this style. You're going to have eventually 4 slots here. So these 2 empty circles, you could have 4 on 4. What's really important when you're deciding how to cast a skill or which skill to cast, these 4 icons on the left indicate which position you're able to cast this skill from, and the icons on the right indicate which slots you're able to attack. So if this is a new thing for you, this is the most important thing to pay attention to right here. So we've got a water attack with Grok. This is our clown in the front here. And you can see it deals 9 to 12 damage. It decreases devotion by 5%, which we'll talk about in a bit. And there's a 60% chance to move the target to the last slot, or probably just this last slot here. The game's going to explain that, so I'm just going to start casting a few things. I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
I do believe your rubber ball cracked his rib. Jolly good show, Grok.
Jolly good show, Grok. Also, in the top left, you're going to notice the turn order.
People, positioning matters.
Certain skills can only be used in certain positions. You can also manually move teammates frontward or further back during combat. Now, I like that they've done this in the tutorial to show you that you're not always going to be able to act in a turn if you're not in the right position. So we want to be able to use front blow. The problem is...
Don't attack. Just move forward.
The problem is Balthazar needs to be in that front slot to be able to do anything. So you could pass your turn, but that would be horrible here. We just want to move forward by a slot, but that's his action. That's it. So he's setting up for the next turn. So now it's pointing out that Grok can use ball throw in any position, and he can also hit any enemy regardless of where they're at. So we're going to continue throwing ball throw here, and we'll go for this guy. He's at 24 health. We'll see if we can't take somebody out sooner rather than later. And just pay attention to the turn order up there. They each have, I believe they're calling it an initiative stat that will determine your order in combat. And now you can see Balthazar. So yes, he wasn't able to do that on the last turn because he got moved, but when he does, it's a ton of damage, 31 to 38. So he's also able to hit the front two, which is great. We'll see if we can take this guy out and go from here. Now, on hover, notice this. There are percentages to hit, and these can be modified in certain ways that we'll get into in a second, but not everything is guaranteed to land. So just something to keep in mind. There's also a damage range, and that damage range can be boosted based on your character's devotion, which we'll learn about a bit more soon. Okay. Each character acts once in their turn, determined by their initiative attribute. I'm a little ahead of myself, but yes, you can see how the following turns are going to go down. Let's water attack here, and yeah, I won't talk about devotion because I know it's going to teach us. I want to, but you know, then I'm just going to be repeating myself. So let's get to it. Heavy hammer. Let's go. Front blow. Ba-boom. And he's gone. Okay. Now, as far as I can tell, in my limited testing, we're not able to change these names. I would like that, but I do believe that these guys are named because they're referenced in the story and stuff. So we've earned a couple resources here, shillings and food. These are things we're going to have to use over time to keep the circus running. Some of our team also has upkeep that we need to keep in mind. And then there's circus fame, which is probably going to impact how successful our circus is.
A rather eventful reunion after 10 years, was it not, Denise?
Seems nice enough.
Saving lives isn't really your style, Uncle. But thank you.
Probably in reference to that fire that we heard about. She has like a pet lion, I guess, Leonidas.
I see your mother's lion remains as spirited as ever.
So I guess it used to belong to his sister.
Yes, and just as blind, no thanks to you.
Okay, cool.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some facts to gather.
Ah, for your circus story. Of course.
Dear God, no. I need to understand what the hell just happened here. That's the new story.
Come, let's find Dr. Mabry. He hid once this maddening took hold, but...
But he's a brilliant man, with brilliant thoughts.
So what's this maddening? Don't know yet.
Unlike certain present company.
I'll not have you speak of Grok in that way. Or growl, as it were.
Okay. Bosses cannot be chased away from battles and are immune to control effects. Now, this being chased away is in reference to the devotion, and I think we'll probably learn about that in the next battle.
Mabry? We've looked everywhere.
Not quite everywhere.
Okay, so this is our circus as it stands right now. Right now we have the train unlocked, and a fire blower may appear in the train to be recruited. So this is where we recruit new people. You can see here I've got space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra, and then presumably we get to unlock all of these. Here's our resources in the top right. Food, maybe something for repairs. I don't know what this one is, and this was shillings. So let's go to the train. Tools. Okay, so tools are needed in all areas of the circus. Substance can be used to make specific things, and then just a currency. This is the reputation of the circus, 2 out of 50. Or is it 1? I guess I'm not sure yet. This could also be the 2 that we have active here, so maybe that's what that's showing, but let's recruit one and see if that changes.
Here, but I do believe I spot some new talent.
Okay, Bertha is a fire blower. We can get a little preview of the different skills that she has. And notice this one. So, fire blow, you see how those red dots are all connected with a line in the middle? That means it's going to actually hit the entire group, not each individually. Whereas something like this one, it's got the 2 front red positions that you can attack, but you have to pick one. So this is a nice AoE attack, something that we haven't seen on the other 2 quite yet. They also have their own individual attributes, health, base damage, precision, which is accuracy, dodge, critical, defense, initiative, and protection. And then there's a daily fee of 1 food, so there's upkeep for each of these guys. Some may have more, some may have less. Yeah, let's just recruit and we'll get into it. Now, you can see here a building upgrade where applicants' max level would be, right now it's 1. If we get this to level 2 with 10 of these parts, then the recruitment cost is decreased, so the shillings would go down, and the max level that they could come in at is 2. So that way when you get a bunch of applicants, you can just pick the best ones.
Crazed Bobby, coming right for us.
Tell me, Bertha the fire blower, you any good in a fight?
She better be.
Fight, sir?
Oh, he brought a mime.
Okay. Critical attribute determines the character's chance to land devastating crits. Devotion largely determines a character's effectiveness in battle. I really like this system, so I want to spend some time talking about this. Higher devotion bars may lead to higher damage and chance to hit. So you can see here, when you hover over, she's got 40% devotion, kind of at her base level. If you look at the skills, this number in here, the blue, this is what's being driven by the current devotion of the character. And I think in this combat, we're going to start to boost and change devotion. But the enemies also have it. And we'll see how that impacts them in a second. So anyways, we're going to go Fire Blow. There's a 45% chance to break the target stance. I don't know if these guys are in a stance or not. So we're just going to be happy with the potential damage here. And we crit. Hello, we'll take that. We'll take that. Using certain skills within a battle can instantly increase or decrease the devotion of targets. Use Trumpet Boost to temporarily increase all team members' devotion. So we can go Trumpet Boost. You see all of these are linked. So that's going to affect everybody. It's going to boost our accuracy or precision by 5% and boost our devotion by 15%, which is going to boost all of the skills that rely on devotion.
Define trumpeting, Brock. Everyone's increased devotion inspires us all.
Okay. Now, devotion may have 2 different values. The base value constantly affects the character's effectiveness, while the temporary only lasts for a few rounds. Or in this case, I believe it's 1 round. And you can hover over this to see what's being buffed right now. So inspired and precision buff, you can see here, he's got an extra 15% devotion. So if we look at these skills now, you can see the blue numbers beside have quite a larger impact than previously. This guy in front is at 40, the guy behind is at 42. I think if we can, we maybe just go big damage. The challenge is, okay, so he's got front blow and he's got spine breaker. Now, if you go spine breaker, it's a lot more damage, but you take a 20% precision penalty. Is that worth the risk? 82% to hit there, 77% to hit there. But if he lands it, he's definitely dead, because we're in the 50 to 62 range, thanks to our currently higher devotion. If I go here, I'm at 37 to 46, which may do it, but it's a guaranteed hit. So what do we try? I say we go we go spine breaker and just see what happens. 82%. I gotta believe an 82 is gonna land, and it didn't. That's great, fantastic. That's great. That's excellent. Never trust an 82. Okay. They have had some bad luck as well. Now, like your own performers, reducing opponents' devotion may lessen their effectiveness. If the devotion of an opponent or a player character drops to 0, they're going to flee the battle. So instead of just killing them, you can reduce their devotion to a point where they run away. That mime over there doesn't seem to be too devoted. Use Fire Throw to try to chase him out of battle. So Fire Throw decreases devotion by 10%. 50% chance to ignore their defense. And let's see what happens. Boom. He's gone.
Bertha,
So-
all 10 shillings for sure.
Maybe even 11.
No, just 10.
I'm interested. So that guy came in with really low devotion, presumably because he's not like part of this squad, right? Like he was just paired up with this Bobby. And I'm interested to see how that plays out over the course of the game. To see if there's like kind of squad bonuses that would generate higher devotion where they're all like in it to win it kind of thing. Anyways, let's see if we can finish this guy off here. What else do we have? Move forward by 2 slots, which would move him out of position. We don't really want to move our big guy out of position. This little line around here, this is showing which skills you have that are impacted by devotion. So we could heal people, but I think we'll just do a ball throw here. Okay, and let's see if we can just finish this guy. 27, let's go for the guarantee, or as much of a guarantee as 94% is. That'll do nicely. Okay. So, I really quickly want to talk about one of my criticisms. One of the things I think that they could do just a little bit better to tighten the experience. It might be nitpicky, but you'll notice when we do the attack, it kind of comes up with this graphic. And that graphic, in my opinion, doesn't really suit the other style of the game. I could tell it's like whimsical and stuff like that, but it's almost a little too cartoony, whereas the other graphical elements are a little bit more dark circus surrealism kind of thing. So I don't know if that's something that they would consider looking at in the future, but those little graphical badges that pop on each attack, they just, in my opinion, don't fit as well as they could. Not really a big deal because that doesn't impact the gameplay, but just from a visual thing would be really nice to be consistent. Okay.
Is this fighting normal for you, Ringmaster?
Only very recently.
You just endangered this poor girl's life. Bertha, are you hurt?
A scratch or two.
Nothing a night in the sleeping cart won't heal.
Okay, so now we get to learn about the sleeping cart and how we have to manage some of our recruits. Injured performers can relax, but they cannot participate in anything else in the meantime. So we're going to visit the sleeping cart. I do love this, how you move around the actual circus. And once things get built out here, it'll be kind of nice to see how all that management ties in.
Must recover.
Okay, so we're getting introduced to Yvonne here.
Yvonne, so lovely to see you. Banged up as you may be from surviving out there. Perhaps the sleeping cart should be yours for the evening.
So I think what they could have done here too is like made it so that in the tutorial, one of your guys definitely gets injured. And then you're just throwing them into the sleeping cart. But they're just introducing us a new injured character that we can use. And that's fine too. But takes time to heal. Let her rest in the sleeping cart until tomorrow. So this is going to cost some food, I
Here
guess.
comes Dr. Mabry.
Help! Help! Save me from these relentless brigands!
More of these fop doodles?
Fop doodles. Let's go. After the tragic on-stage accident of Shanda the Lion Tamer. Okay, so this is, I guess, maybe what was being referenced earlier, but we don't know yet. Okay. Although devotion can increase some skills' damage and chance to hit, devotion does not affect every skill. This is what I was showing you with that highlight around the icons. Positive or negative effect of devotion is highlighted in parentheses. We talked about that before. And now let's see what we can do here. So we've got a chief inspector and a constable. If we... Okay, cool. I wasn't sure about this, but if we right-click on them, we can get this character sheet up. This is super nice because now we can actually plan a little bit, knowing what they're capable of. So this guy has a ram where he will move to the front. to get into position. Let's see. What does the other guy do? Oh, whoops. And then you have... Oh, do they both have the same thing? Electric attack and electric attack. 4 to 8 and 4 to 8. Okay, so maybe they're like... Maybe they're the same. I guess I can just swap between these two. Yeah, so really the big difference here is their devotion. Chief Inspector has a bit lower, and the Constable has more. Okay, cool. What do we want to go for here? Decreases devotion? We'll take that. So he's down to 12. We could boost ours. I feel like that's a pretty solid opener, although it might not even be as necessary in these early rounds. Now, you've seen this defend thing trigger quite regularly here, and I believe we're going to learn about that in a bit. Let me see if I can find a way to show you really quick on hover. No. Okay, that's fine. We'll get to it when we get to it. So 18 and 36 health respectively. I think we just go for the cleanup here with Balthazar. That'll do nicely. I would also like to see here, it seems as if, at least right now in the early kind of prologue tutorial, that the initiative is always going to be the same every time. There's probably some skills that would impact that, but to this point I don't think we've seen any of those, so... Let's go Fire Blow here. And then we go Grok. And if this guy... If we can't do 25, which I don't think we can... Yeah, let's just water attack. Not going to have the ability to get his devotion down before we kill him, so killing's going to be the better way. I do like that there's kind of two systems in play to defeat enemies. I think that's a cool approach. Okay. Let's go. Now, they seem to be earning individual experience. Looks like it's the same across the board, which means it must be just combat-based instead of, like, individual actions-based. Rainy weather seriously reduces the effectiveness of fire-based attacks, but increases electrical damage. Oh, cool. Okay, okay. I like that there's a weather system in there. Days always end after battles, with circus results and character statuses reported from there. So 1 day since the maddening. It looks like, yeah, this number in the middle is, I guess, your overall circus level, and then you fill this bar to get to the next one. So he's got 7 extra XP here. He took a food. They each took 1 food. She got 6. He got 37. So maybe what we saw at the end of the combat was just that's straight from the combat, but then we get an individual thing at the end of the day. This is, I'm guessing, just his current health, so he's -4. This is devotion, and she got healed. Yeah, cool, neat. I like that. New performer has joined Circus Electrique, Yvonne. Effects from buildings are realized the following day. Yvonne was healed after a night in the sleeping cart and is ready to join the exploration team.
You want my opinion on this, don't you, Amelia?
The pillar of power you designed was lit. Exactly then, everything around us went to hell.
You should see what happened to the London Bridge.
The London Bridge? Has it fallen down, my fair Mabry?
I get that reference.
Or worse, disappeared. My drones confirm it. Vanished.
Vanished? How?
I can get you there to see for yourself. With a map. Just need time. May I bring it to you shortly?
Yes, sir.
All things come shortly from you, Ollie. Join us at the circus tent when you can.
Is that a wiener joke?
That's where she'll be, with me, watching how I plan my shows.
What? You don't want to recruit more talent at the train first?
A marvelous suggestion, Amy. First the train, then the circus tent.
Okay, let's see who's at the train. Recruit 3 new performers. All right, let's take each of them. So we got Pablo. We've got Maria, and we have Caesar. So these look like the same classes as our first 3, which means maybe we have to unlock classes that would be available. We'll have to see. We have just enough shillings to get each of these guys, so we'll take it. Circus Upgrade. So escape artist performers may appear in the train now, so that is like, I guess, Yvonne there. Circus tent is unlocked, and new circus show draft available. Okay. Set up your first show in the circus tent. Bulletin board, available items and resources. So maybe this is just a... Yeah, okay. This is just showing us what we have. Cool. Let's go into the circus tent.
And this is how it's done.
Now, we're going to select the Village Roadshow draft as a first step. You'll get more drafts later. Village Roadshow. The next step is preparing for a circus show is to select the appropriate performers. Now, from my reading about this game before playing, there's some type of like chemistry or synergies that the characters have that play into the success of the show. Every performer has a preferred performance type, but many are also particular about whom they like to work. The more attention you pay to the chemistry of your performers, the more successful your shows will be. Look here to see which performance type the character prefers. Chemistry bar changes at a much lower rate if the icon on a performer card does not match its assignment on the table. The green icon here indicates this performer enjoys working with the specified character class. The red icon indicates the opposite. To the left, the character's own class is highlighted. Okay, so this is their class. This person likes to work with, I think this is fire breathers. They don't like to work with, which one is that? I don't think we have that class yet, so that's good. I don't think we have this red class either. And Caesar here, he doesn't like to work with the clowns. Interesting. Okay, so then there's like the opening act, which is the blue arrow, the pink arrow for supporting act, and the orange arrow for the main event. Get to 2 stars in the chemistry bar. This is, I like this. This is cool. This is cool. So let's say Pablo, we put him in here in the opening act, okay? It looks like we also need to meet these things: fun, thrill, amazement, and laugh. Here's chemistry. Here's devotion. Okay, okay. So if we went and looked at supporting act now, we could do this here. The line connecting 2 characters shows how effectively they work together based on the chemistry icons. Green indicates strong relationship, red the opposite. Character compatibility is displayed in the chemistry bar, with higher ratings earning more stars. The more stars you accumulate, the more rewards you can earn from performances. So if we put him in there, we're in theory going to get a red line between these 2 and a green line between these 2. Hit the next button if you're satisfied with the performer setup. Oh, the opening. Okay, interesting. There isn't even a line here. The opening act and the main event don't matter. Like, that connection doesn't matter because I guess it's kind of showing maybe the flow between the opening to supporting to main. So that's cool. Okay, that makes this section a little bit easier, but this could also change once we get different drafts. This is a cool system. I like this. Let's go. Let's go next here. Here you can distribute the stars you earned in a previous step to best yield benefits from your next performance. So because we got 2, distribute your stars without exceeding the potential value of a draft in any category. Once you distribute all the stars available, hit the announce button. The event will be held later today, and the next day's newspaper will report the results. Now, since they're busy with the show, selected performers can't be used for anything else during the rest of the day. So you're going to have to balance who do you put into the shows versus who do you take out to combat, I guess. Okay. So, performance stars, audience, entertainment, complexity. Oh, okay, okay. So we can tweak these numbers to decide, do we want fame? Do we want revenue? Do we want maybe gifts? And what about experience gained by the performers? Huh. So I can only go into here right now, which is fine. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything else. So we're going to get a little bit of revenue from this. I think that's it. Let's rock.
You've got nothing better to do today, right?
The event will take place after the next battle. Okay, cool. So let's go through another battle, and we want to see how this whole loop is going to work.
What a waste of time.
You love it.
Wait, what was that?
The Bobbies, they really hammer down on that whole die thing. They really like that. Yeah, always a die, followed up by a die. Very intimidating.
Even more bloodthirsty vicious.
I don't know if this is because of the maddening. I presume that's why they're so weird. But we don't know enough about it yet, because I don't think this is just bad writing. I think these Bobbies are being impacted by this maddening. Protection attribute shows the chance of avoiding negative status effects from enemy attacks. Cool. Okay. So we got a 4-on-3 here. Now we're fighting against some different types. So the Mime, they're coming in with 10% devotion like we saw in that second battle. So if we can lower that, that would be pretty solid. The Posh Woman has 24 and the Bobby's got 20. She's a little weaker than the Bobby. And I think down here, this is showing their preferred positioning within the party. So they're all set up relatively well. Okay. Now, we want to go for a devotion attack, because if we hit him, then his devotion is going to be at 0. 99%. Decreases devotion by 10%. Let's go. That seems like the way to go. So you really do have to evaluate what your options are at the start of the battle. Okay. 20 and 24. We could do another devotion boost here if we wanted. And it looks like what's interesting here, so his heal, Clown Care, heals for 20%, which is huge. Don't need to do that yet. But that is going to decrease his devotion. Something to think about. We can boost his devotion by taunting, but then that's going to move him out of position, so I don't know if that's the right thing to do yet. We'll do the Trumpet Boost. And then we do that. Everybody's got the buffs for another turn. Okay. Yvonne. Now, weather-wise, we saw that tooltip, but this weather looks like... I don't think anything is happening. I think this here is just like the film effect. It doesn't look like it's raining. 70% chance to remove stun from all allies on this attack. That's cool. But let's just focus on doing damage. Hits both. That's great. Use Show Off to increase damage and reduce all incoming. While the effect of Trumpet Boost wears off after a short time, Show Off increases your character's devotion permanently. Oh, cool. Okay, Balthazar. So it would move him to the front, boost damage by 5% permanently, reduces damage suffered by 5% permanently, or at least for the fight. Devotion increases by 5% and lasts until end of battle. You can stack it as well. So you could, in theory, boost damage by 15%. He could tank and reduce damage incoming by 15% and get his devotion up by 15% as well. Now, this is tutorializing us because this locked us out of the other ones. And I don't know. I think we're going to kind of miss out on this trumpet buff, but that's fine because it's teaching us something.
Yes! And that, boys and girls, is why he's so often the main event.
Okay, this icon represents all active status effect enacted by Show Off. Okay, we kind of got into that earlier. Whether positive or negative, skills can inflict active status effects upon allies or enemies, often for multiple turns. Yeah, so we're seeing he's getting that damage boost, and it's got the infinity symbol, so he's ready to rock. Now, do we focus on devotion here? It's going to require at least 2 fire throw attacks if we wanted to reduce devotion. And because she can't hit that front unit, it's going to actually take 3. So we might as well just go for damage. I think fire attack that hits everybody is pretty solid. Ooh, that's actually pretty decent. Places a trap. Now, how does this work? 23 to 26. So this would kill her. And then I presume if you move someone into that trap, they would deal 15 damage over time for a turn. Let's see. Yeah, that's sick. I really like some of the mechanics that they've introduced here. And even we're very early, but if you think to a comparison of a game like Darkest Dungeon, you don't have access to this many skills and this level of complexity this early. So that's something big in their favor, I think. Do I have like a knockback here with him? Now he could enter a stance. He would retaliate, so have like a counter attack, which would be kind of cool. This guy, what do his attacks hit? They can hit the first 3. So it's potential. I should probably just go for the damage here. That'll work. I love that trap idea. That's really neat. Plus that it deals damage is pretty insane. So 3 combat XP across the board here. We'll take that. This is new. Skill upgrader. Okay, 2 days. Looks like we have a level up happening here. So we got a transformer, a sparker, and distilled water. I think those are as a result of the show, because those were some of the potential gifts, right? Everybody takes 1 food so far. I don't know how that's going to change over time. These guys got some devotion. They were all in the show. These guys got devotion here. A little bit of health loss, devotion. Cool. One of your characters is ready to level up. Select Balthasar to see his progress. Level up. For each level up, characters can distribute 10 points to increase their Circus Act values. Higher Circus Act values are essential for more complex shows. Level up and spend all available points to increase Balthazar's Circus Act values. Okay. So then we see that here. What is this icon showing? Spend available points to improve the attribute. Values in parentheses indicate the current maximum value of the attribute. Now, if I auto-assign here, sure you want to distribute. Okay, is it random or is it... Okay, if it's random, we probably don't want to do that. And I guess over time you would learn, okay, I need to have this guy be better at this. He's not good at laughing, but he's good at amazement. Maybe you just focus on like specializing. Let's get him to like double-digit amazement. We'll buff this up a little bit, get to like maybe a base level in some. And then he's a strong man, right? So like amazement, you're like, yeah, wow, cool. Probably doesn't make you laugh as much. Probably isn't more on the fun scale, but I could see maybe a balance between thrill and amazement if the actual class archetype matters, which I think would be awesome if it did. Skills can be upgraded to the character's level as well. Use skill upgraders to strengthen your skills. Okay. Upgrade one of Balthasar's skills to level 2. Now, what are these? These are like his passives, I guess. So, immovable. When he's standing in slot 1 or 2, he's immune to movement. And when he's standing in slots 3 or 4, it increases his critical chance. This is by far the most used attack that we have. However, this Spine Breaker, it comes with this precision penalty. Okay, yes, so that we could decrease precision penalty, but it's only by 1%. That's a bit rough. If we go here, we just get a straight damage boost of 2. And then we get extra boosts on the high end from Devotion. He does have a boomerang that's also a water attack. We've seen some of these icons pop up, so that's what that means. And I imagine the next part of the tutorial probably starts teaching us about this. This is as far as I've been, because I wanted to keep some things fresh. Let's just boost his front blow. And then it looks like I can continue using these things, but this is shared amongst the whole group, right? Deals 29 to 36 electric damage. 20% chance to hit a second random target. It's pretty cool too. Oh, and this is actually using the tools. Oh, neat. So there's different things that impact different skills. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna be greedy, and we're gonna upgrade everybody's stuff. I can only do, or all of his stuff, I should say. This would go damage boost 2. Let's go ground shatter here. Now, contrary to something like Darkest Dungeon, it seems like you have access to all of these skills at all times, whereas in Darkest Dungeon, you have to select a certain number of them. So that's another difference as well that I'm seeing.
I have this for you. For answers.
A map?
It'll get you to the Vanished Bridge, through all the dangers.
Just how dangerous are these dangers, Dr. Mabry?
Very. But you see, that's the beauty of this map. I have drones. I have the police radio. I know what's out there.
Such as?
Abandoned boxes left behind by evacuees. Wanton violence. A bunch of who knows what.
Love some good wanton
How
violence.
specific?
This map will keep you safe. Safer, anyway.
Then I shall put it to good use. Thank you, Dr. Mabry.
Okay. Too much information, feeling lost, can't remember previously explained gameplay mechanics. Nope, not me. Excellent memory. Press this button for instant help or use the codex to view previous tutorials. Nice. So the more fame the circus gains, more buildings and upgrades become available. Nothing can be upgraded above the level of the circus. Here's the resources. Here's the different buildings. Now, some of these we haven't seen yet. So, circus tent was the last thing we learned about. Workshop can invent new super skills. That sounds cool. Artisan can craft consumable items and boosters. Practice tent. Send characters to gain experience, devotion, or stat increases. The Oracle will reveal information about the district map locations and grants devotion bonuses to the exploration team members. And the bulletin board used to check your inventory or to read previous newspapers. Character status. This just shows like that little icon there, what they're doing. Left click on cards to open character sheets. Okay, like that. Embark for the streets of London.
Not so fast, young lady.
The story's out there, Uncle. So I'm going out there.
Yes, of course you are, but not without some help.
Help? From whom? Your second-rate performers who aren't good enough for the premiere?
A rather negative spin, and only mostly inaccurate. They're a devoted bunch, and they'll fight like old boots for you. Your safety matters, Amy.
You're offering safety? You?
He did at the start come in to save her.
Amy, your mother's accident. I know you'll never forgive me, but...
Goodbye, Uncle. Good luck with the show. I guess I'm stuck with the four of you. But what order suits you best?
Okay, I'm digging all the planning and stuff that's involved, and now we've got this whole map thing to navigate. So this is where... Okay, yeah, this is cool. So those battles that were happening earlier are just being kind of thrown at us, but now we have a kind of decision that we're going to make. Assemble your team up to 4 performers. Consider explorers' slot preferences as you place them as indicated at the bottom of each card. So Balthazar in the front, yep. From the available characters by dragging or right-clicking on them. Cool. So, we probably want to keep like a good mix here. Balthazar is going to stay. We could bring Maria. We could bring Yvonne. I want to see what she's capable of. And then we'll bring Pablo here.
Abandoned boxes, wanton violence, a bunch of who knows what.
Each map's made up of nodes and the routes that connect to them. The exploration team moves from node to node in the district towards their final target. Explore London to reveal different types of events and items such as loot crates, patrolling enemies, random encounters, and boss battles. Okay. Select this node to move forward. On the next turn, you can choose to move left or right. So it's all path-based. There's a loot crate here. And then you can kind of plan, like, okay, almost like Slay the Spire-esque, right? Okay, I know where I want to get to. London Bridge. What other things here? Mystery events. Circus enthusiast. Interview. All right, sick. I guess this is us traveling with the reporter. Okay, we'll take these. Crafting components for all these different things, which we haven't seen yet.
Whichever way we choose, we're sticking to it. No need to further endanger ourselves.
I think either way we go is pretty similar here. There's a quicker mystery event here. What's the top hat? Uncle Randy. Okay, something totally random. Uncle Randy there too. So this is not a path we can traverse, right? It's only the highlighted ones. Tonight's circus show isn't going to set up itself. We sure want to continue our journey through the streets of London. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, so we got to set up our show. I guess this is stuff we need to consider. Now, he does the supporting act. Can I put him here if necessary? Yes, but we're not going to get as good results. Looks like it's only impacting the chemistry. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I just picked people willy-nilly. So, even though he's going to be happy in this slot, they have a bad synergy there. And then she's not going to like this slot, but they have a good synergy. So, yeah, the planning here is actually pretty cool. This is great. But this is how we're going to have to run it. I'm just looking to see kind of how this impacts. Oh, that's actually better. Okay, so having this the preferential classes working next to each other is better than having the right slot. Or I guess because these guys are both in the same, just matching those synergies is better. But anyways, cool. I like this a lot. Really, really neat. Looks like we can only boost into audience right now. So let's run this.
Better to do today, right?
And that'll take place after the battle. So after each battle, we have to go in and like reset the show, I guess. And it'll be interesting to see how long this sequence takes. Because presumably we're having like, it looks like 5 or 6 fights before we get to the destination. Bosses cannot be chased away, so that if you decrease boss devotion to 0, they won't run. Okay.
Some skills require no exertion.
One class skill for each class exerts a continuous passive status effect throughout the battle. Certain performers may have an additional random passive skill below the one assigned to their class. Certain performers. Okay. Passive skills are displayed next to the character's active skills. So she's immune to fire damage. Now, I don't know if that pop-up means that different fire blowers may also have another additional passive there, but that's kind of the way that I read that. Which means that each of the ones that you get can feel a little bit different, so I kind of hope that's the case. Now, we've got a fire whip, 30% chance to deal burning damage. Fire attack hits everybody. This is obviously quite solid. Devotion's pretty high across the board at a minimum of 23 there, but health is quite high here as well. I think we're gonna go trap stuff first. Now he's standing on a trap. I don't know if he'll trigger that or... Oh, look at this. Hold up. So how is this gonna work? Ignite. Receives 15 damage over time. So I'm guessing that, yeah, he's now got that because he took that position as well. Huh. Physical attack. 50% chance to break the target's stance, but I don't see any stances there, so we won't focus on that quite yet. Could reduce dodge. Decrease devotion. Now, even if we're just decreasing devotion by a little bit, that's pretty good because their devotion acts in the same way as ours, right? Where they get, you know, better damage output and stuff like that. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so now she got ignited. So this is actually working out great that we're cycling people through that slot. That's awesome. 50% chance to stun the target for 1 turn. It's not bad. Who's acting next here? So this guy in 3rd position. We could try it. Decreases devotion by 3%. 100% chance to move target and herself forward by 1 slot. So if I hit this guy, presumably he would be ignited as well, taking that damage. But it's going to decrease... Or wait. Yeah, it decreases devotion there. I think we're going to just try stunning.
Heavy, ain't it?
Did not work. That's fair. 50% chance. What do you expect? What's my chance to hit on this spine breaker? 75, 74. Let's just go for the big hit, I think. 63 versus 60. It's a pretty solid clobber. So I will say, like, don't be confused by the art style and how whimsical it is, because there is deep tactical layering that's going on here. Over time, like, we're still being tutorialized a bit. Oh, here's the weather. Oh, cool. Okay. Over time, this is going to get very complex. You can already see just based on the style of the skills. So yeah, I would encourage you not to get distracted by the way that it looks. I actually like the art style of the characters, the backgrounds and stuff, but like I mentioned with some of the graphics that pop up and stuff, I feel like there's just a bit of a disconnect in art styles, like almost like two very different people were working on something that was, you know, whimsical in nature but didn't totally line up. Maybe it's a small nitpick, but it is a nitpick that I'm having for sure. I can reduce precision on everyone for a turn. 10% chance to decrease devotion by 5, and we would decrease our devotion by 4. That's not bad. Should we try it?
Just try to look away.
Well, they all resisted. Okay. This guy's pretty low. That's not gonna quite kill. I have this, though. That'll do. The animations are pretty cool, too, actually. And I like that they've each kind of really leaned into the archetype of those different circus performers. Okay. So he does have damage reduction. Precision debuff is on. Damage reduction. Reflecting 25% of incoming damage. So that is a stance. That's the first time we are seeing that. Maybe that was on there before and I didn't see it. Let's go 50% chance to stun here. I don't want to reflect any of that damage. We got it. I'll take it. And again, don't want to reflect 25% of damage, especially from something this heavy. Let's just see if there's a way to reduce the stance with him. I don't think so. 74% feels like 20%. That stun was nice. He didn't act, so cool. 45% chance to break the target stance. I think this is worth it. So I'm for very low damage that's going to come back to me. I think that's worth trying to break that. We saw that resist, so I don't think we did it. Okay, she's gone into stance again. Here we could try to break the target stance. There we go. Okay, sick. Okay, awesome. Now. I also wonder if this this here could change throughout the course of battle, where the weather conditions shift. I think that would be cool too. Let's go electric attack here. He's at 20, she's at 41. 75%. I'm gonna go for her. If it lands, yeah, there we go. If it lands, she's toast. See, like, it's so interesting to me that, like, the animations are really good. And then they kind of have, like, this, like, slapstick comedy style, sound over top of it. And then, I don't know, it's just weird. Maybe I just want it to be, like, this darker, this kind of darker circus vibe. But they've obviously gone for this kind of lighter approach with the graphics and some of the sound. So, I mean, that's fine. I guess it's personal preference, but...
You thought this was water?
Water? Okay, so this cheerful thing is happening. Pablo automatically heals a few health for a random teammate every round. That's cool.
Your eye on the ball.
That'll do. Now, I have to imagine that if these guys start getting really low throughout this run...
Ah, yes. Fine journalism, this.
At the end of each day, the newspaper summarizes the most important events of the past 24 hours. Look for articles about recent events, last night's show, and the commercial status of the circus, plus a few surprises. Try some new things, stumbles yet entertains. This is our show outcome, success-o-meter. Really cool. I like that a lot. Deadly riots. Okay. Soap. Circus performers versus vicious offers quite the show. Girl constable busker. So I think this is just, is this just the outcome of the fight that we had? Our daily balance here, this shows all of our stuff. Huh. Okay. So now as the days progress, now I'm back here. Set up a new show in the circus tent. But these guys are all out in combat. We have a new draft now. When choosing a draft for your evening show, there are several things to consider. Number of slots indicate how many performers are needed. The stars show the potential maximum revenue, audience satisfaction, performer experience for the program. And performing the same program for several evenings in a row leads to boredom. Low novelty hinders maximum potential. And beware, losing a battle doubles the current show's novelty deduction. Oh, whoa. Dudes, this is really, there's a lot going on here. This is sick. Sometimes it's worth switching characters between circus shows. This is what I was wondering. Yvonne's preferred slot is any, so she's comfortable in any performance type. The higher devotion the selected performers have, the more successful their show will be. The total devotion value of the selected characters is shown on the devotion bar. These produce stars the same way the chemistry bar does. Okay. Get 2 stars in the devotion bar. This performer will be removed from its current section. Are you sure you want to continue? Okay, let's see what I can do with just these guys. You can go there. This is medium because she doesn't like that, but he likes that. And then this is bad. So if we go back to like this setup, this is probably our best, but we do need to reach 2 bars there. So basically this is just saying I need higher devotion, right? Oh no, I've got 2. My bad. 1, 2. I was just looking over here. So this can work again. By increasing your audience stars, you can earn more revenue and increase your chance of receiving gifts. Increased entertainment stars yield more circus fame, increase your chances of receiving gifts. More complexity stars result in more experience gained for performers. With predictions, you get accurate feedback on what rewards the stars you're assigning will yield after the show. Okay. So, going into something like this is pretty tempting, because then these guys are also gaining experience, which makes them better in not just here, but also out in combat. Money-wise, we're doing pretty well. Fame could always be good, and then gifts could be great too, but depends to see how that goes over time. Between two battles with the Vicious, you will set up a new circus show to grow the reputation. Assign performers to circus buildings to ensure no one gets bored. Explore the city with the exploration team. Prepare for the next clash with the Vicious. That's the routine. Very cool. Okay, guys, I think we've got a pretty solid handle on Circus Electrique right now. This is really, as this went on, it keeps adding extra layers, and I can see the strategy aspect behind it and how things have to be managed with actual concern. I would probably up this to the hardest difficulty and just, like, be a little bit more punishing. Let's hit a mystery event and see what those are like.
A young man speeds down the street, standing atop a steam wheel. Somehow he's managed to turn the machine on without wearing control specs. Without them, he'll likely crash any second now.
So it looks like we could have a fight, we could get a reward here, or we can get devotion, maybe. Let's see what this
Jolly
is.
good show.
More brain than brawn. Steam Wheel Rider remains in control the whole time and speeds way out of sight. Had we not warned the others ahead of him, however, he very likely would have knocked some people over. He made the right decision here. Okay. So, this devotion's even more important than just being available in combat because of the circus acts. And keeping that high is good, but it also places a really high cost on the skills in combat that reduce devotion. But at the right time, those seem to be some of the more powerful skills too. So, yeah, very cool. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know what you think about this game. And I hope... I have a feeling that if you watch the first kind of 15-20 minutes, you might be like, hey, I think I get it. And if you were the type that did that, you're missing out on what I'm saying right now. But if you watch this whole thing, I think you're really gonna have enjoyed it, especially if you like this Darkest Dungeon style of combat. But I'm curious. Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you guys really want to see more, let me know, because I would be very happy to dive in here. The one thing I would really like is the ability to rename these guys. I think that's such a nice touch when you can do it. But there are references to them in other points of the story. I don't know if they're ever vocalized or not. So maybe you could still work around that, but it would be cool. There are supposed to be 15 different classes. We've only seen 4, so the complexity is just going to get even more insane. Each of them have all these different skills that you can upgrade. And we didn't even get into upgrading buildings at the circus. We haven't even unlocked all the buildings at the circus. So, yeah, lots to do here, man. Lots to do here. I'll have links down below for you to check this out yourself. Thank you so much to Saber Interactive for sponsoring this look at the game. And again, let me know what you guys think. And if you want to see more, then I'd be happy to come back to it. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.